The Amish are a very close-knit community who have their own set of beliefs, lifestyle, and traditions, some of which seem more strange than others to the outside world. In this episode of FTD Facts, I'll be sharing 10 of the strangest Amish traditions that will surprise you. Hey guys, welcome to FTD Facts. My name is Leroy Kenton, and now I've received several requests to share facts and information about the Amish, so let's just jump into this one. Starting at number 10, we have Rumspringa. The name itself sounds pretty strange. Now, Amish adolescents, they have an opportunity to gain a sense of personal freedom when they reach the ages of about 14 to 16. And Rumspringa is a rite of passage, and the word literally translates to running around. Teens will not be under the control of their parents, so they can exercise some freedom, and they get to experience living life according to the outside world. Rumspringa is also viewed as the ultimate test of faith, and they usually do this journey right before their baptism. After Rumspringa, then they decide whether they will stay in the Amish community or they will leave the church and community, and there actually is a pretty high retention rate because most of the youth choose to stay in the community. The tradition of no mustaches comes in at number 9. Amish men are known for their style of dress and facial hair. However, if you look a little closer, you'll notice that they don't have mustaches. Why? Well, that's a big question. So, historically, men who grew mustaches did so to make it known that they were wealthy. And the men who also went to war, they grew mustaches as well. And since Amish men do not identify themselves as being wealthy or as men of war, they do not grow their mustaches at all. Instead, after they get married, they grow beards, which is celebrated as a milestone of manhood. Number 8, shunning their members. Now, this one has become an infamous practice. The Amish church will excommunicate and shun any members who stray away from their lifestyle. This stops the shunned person from eating and even sleeping inside of the community. They cannot visit their friends or family, and other members of the community will not accept any gifts from the person who is shunned. Some individuals feel that the Amish practices are outdated, so they may decide to stop practicing their faith, but others, they may have committed crimes, and that is the reason why they're shunned by the community. Moving on to number 7, let's look at the dating practice of the Amish. So the Amish hold Christian values, traditional Christian values, and they're strict about not having sex before marriage. However, young adults in the Amish community who get married at around the ages of 20 to 22, well, they usually start dating around the age of 16. And since sex before marriage is forbidden, they have to undergo a tradition called bundling or bed courtship. So when a guy likes a girl, he gets to stay in the girl's room overnight. But it's not what you think. There's no intimate touching whatsoever, and there's a wooden board that is placed between them, or they're tied up inside 2 separate sacks until the morning time. And bed courtship is done about every 2 weeks. And this dating tradition is to create an opportunity for the couple to get to know each other on a deeper level without breaking their religious laws. Moving on now to number 6. An Amish individual can only date and marry another Amish person. And because this happens, inbreeding may occur in certain areas. This, of course, can happen when the community is very, very, very small, so you may find cases of cousins marrying each other. Another option for them would be to marry outside of their local community. However, since they can only marry another Amish person, this too is very limiting for them. Avoiding higher education comes in at number 5. As a community, the Amish believe that their traditions and identities should not be influenced too much by the outside world. Now, because of this, they highly discourage higher education. They value the rural living lifestyle, and they have their own schools, and that's where they get to share their values with the younger generations. However, they don't really teach things like biology, chemistry, physics, history, or even subjects like geography. They don't really dive too deep into those topics. And the highest level of education is the 8th grade. And there is also very little involvement when it comes to the world of politics. The teachers are usually from the Amish community themselves, and from there, they're taught various skills like farming, sewing, construction, and many other trades. Okay, at number 4, this might be a little creepy to those of you who are afraid of dolls. The Amish toys and dolls, they are actually faceless, but they have a reason for why they do this. Amish parents want their children to learn that God loves them as they are, and it really doesn't matter how they look. So these toys that don't have any faces, they're to help teach the children, especially the girls, not to obsess about how they look. And the toys have clothing similar to the Amish. Number 3 is a little bit of a sad one when it comes to puppy mills. So puppy breeding can be a very lucrative business, and the Amish communities located in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, Holmes County, Ohio, as well as several other places, they're known to have puppy mills. And the dogs in these mills, unfortunately, are sometimes treated very poorly, and they're often exposed to various diseases and infections because of this. At any given time, the mills can have up to 1,000 dogs packed in cages sometimes. And due to the neglect and abuse that some of these dogs at the Amish puppy mills experience, there are calls to end this tradition from continuing. No photos comes in at number 2. Now, when we look around, it's common to see people having family photo albums and picture frames with family photos around their houses. But this is not common for the Amish though. Generally, they don't like being captured on camera, and if they agree to have an interview or be photographed, they do so with hiding their faces. And they do this because they believe that every person is made in the image of God, and having a documented image of them is like having an image of God. And the Amish also believe that having a photo of someone is a way of idolizing them, which is against the commandments of God according to their beliefs. And we finally end off with number 1. Some of you are probably wondering why I didn't lead the episode with this. But number 1, very strange tradition is that they don't use any cars or modern technology. The Amish don't use automobiles of any kind and mostly use bicycles or ride horses and wagons to get around. And if they need to do something that requires a car, well, they'll just hire a non-Amish person to operate that mechanical vehicle to get the task done. They also do not use cell phones, TVs, computers, radios, and any other electronic device. Most of their homes don't have electricity at all. Now, the thing though is that the Amish are really good at finding ways to live with some modern conveniences, and in many cases they use generators and solar panels for electricity when they really need it. But most just live perfectly fine without modern technology or cars. Alright guys, so that ends this episode. This was a brief look at 10 of the strangest Amish traditions that would definitely surprise you. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. As always, I want to hear your thoughts and comments down below. Now, if you're new here to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified when new videos go up. Here at FTD Facts, we love to explore the various different countries, cultures, religions, and people of our world. So if those topics interest you, go ahead, join the FTD Facts family, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode where we explore another aspect of our world.